Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Joe, as you know, and we are here on Friday the 13th. Time for Friday just after Bill Burr's Thursday Before Friday Monday morning podcast. And I was almost going to do the Bill and say, and I'm checking in on you. But no, I guess more like you're checking in on me. I'm still here, still alive. Fucking... Some people think, I guess some people that's a good thing. Some people that's bad. No, so let's see how the week went. Like I said, on Tuesday, we had overtime this week. Had a big bunch of orders. Fucking, a lot of hours, bunch of order, or big order, I mean. Not bunch of orders, big orders. A lot of hours. And then fucking yesterday, the company that ordered calls us and says, can we get those in this color? And it's like, this is a 3-week project. We're damn near a week and a half, halfway through it, and you call, and now we gotta go back, take everything apart, change one part out with a new colored, not same part, but same part, different manufacturer, different color. So overtime's gone, so I had a little free time. I had a little time to listen to fucking Bill, which he said he'd make up his hour. Not the whole hour, he did 25 minutes or 30, which I can't bitch, I'm short. But no, fucking, he said he was gonna make up the time. I had time to listen, so I was all excited. Fucking couple little funny things in there, but not the greatest. I actually had some fucking laughs at work though. Like I said, besides all of us laughing, because if you haven't heard before, I work in the automotive. Being in Michigan, there's a lot of automotive, a lot of fuel-based items, electric-based items, cars, trucks, etc. Parts, manufacturing, this and that. But the point is, like, for example, I'm not going to give away my company or what they make or anything like that. At least until I can fucking afford to not give a shit. Because, like Bill, he said, oh, at least I got a job. And it's like, well, yeah, your fucking job isn't a job. You don't wake up, I mean, he said filming movies, you could do 16-hour days. And I've done those before when I worked at the Hard Rock in Tampa, the Hard Rock Casino. Yeah, it was actually, being in your 20s, 16-hour shifts aren't really that bad, and I was having fun. It was an overnight shift, so I'm fucking, laughing with the people drinking, and everybody's having a good time. So, your 20s, that's great. But so on, I guess, my own notes first, not notes, but my own life. Speaking of work, that secret agent lady I always talk about, who fucking has the craziest beliefs. Doesn't believe in science because science was made in a lab. Which, where else do you fucking do science project? Like, I mean, I know you can do out in the field and, whatever you want to call it, but I mean, it's just the contradiction is fucking great. And so Friday's contradiction, and it's like I said, Friday the 13th, everybody. So we don't have a full moon. Full moon, was a couple days ago. So you're only gonna get hair on your nipples if you look at it. So just try not to look at it, especially for the girls. I know you probably don't want hairy nipples, so don't look at the moon tonight. Stay safe. Stay inside. Watch your fucking basketball or whatever you're into. For girls, watch your fucking Keeping Up with the Kardashians or your fucking Housewives of wherever the hell you want to. Whatever town you fucking care about that week. But, yeah. So, today's story for the fucking contradiction secret agent lady. She says, when you go to bed, your digestion stops completely. And that's why it's bad to eat before bed. Because you don't digest any food at all. It just sits there completely untouched, edited's not what I'm looking for because it's your stomach, but you know what I mean. The food, she basically says, like, nothing nothing gets dissolved or broken down. Your stomach doesn't digest at all, like not 1%. It's not a 0.5%. It's the way she said it was basically you eat, 2 slices of pizza and a chocolate chip cookie before you fall asleep. You should wake up damn near with 2 slices of pizza and that cookie, still in your stomach in the form it was when you swallowed it. And of course, the logical, fucking reasonable people at work, like myself and a couple of friends, argued that point. Like, metabolism slows, but it doesn't stop. It's like fucking, when you sleep, it's all your organs turn off. Like, we're not, we're not AI powered yet. Jesus, like, give me my humanity while I can have it. So yeah, but then my point, I said, so why is it when I go to bed, like I said, say I have a slice, a couple slices of pizza before I go to bed. I'm like, why is it that when I eat that, I eat that, give it 30 minutes, an hour, I go to bed, fall asleep. Now I do agree, they say it's not healthy, like you should eat dinner with like 3-4 hours minimum, especially if you're, not moving around or, whatever the case. And I'm not saying what the healthiest food schedule is, but I know that you digest while you're asleep. Whether it's full digestion or not, that's, that's a whole different story. But, so yeah, she says you don't digest at all. And so I said, like I said, I was like, all right, so explain how, how do I eat something before bed? Like I said, even give it 20 minutes, hour, I don't care however much time you want to give it. I'm like, but the point is, it's fast enough where I fell asleep before it was digested. Why, when I wake up, a lot of people, I think this is a pretty common thing. You wake up and you got to take a shit, or at least, a lot, like, that's with guys that I know, it's guys got to wake up and they got to shit. Girls, either they do and they don't say it because, girls don't poop, or, they definitely, girls got to pee when they get up. Well, the girls that I've known. But, yeah, so fucking, hold on, that seatbelt's choking me, man. God damn, I'm not even hitting the brake. I had to fucking hit the floor it, man. That's backwards. You floor the fucking car and the seatbelt comes loose. But when I'm just riding smooth, it's wanting to fucking choke me. Like, let me lean forward a little bit. Let me fucking breathe. God damn. Fuck, man. Anyways, well, that just fucking threw me all for a fucking loop. Yeah, so I said, well, then how do I have to shit when I wake up? And she goes, oh, well, that's because it's left over from the night before. And I'm like, exactly. So my body digested it while I was asleep, maybe slower, but yes, still digested. And she's like, no, that's because you ate it, and when you woke up, it digested. She said it only takes about 30 minutes for your body to digest. That's why some people, or many people, have to poop after they eat. And we're like, no, usually, unless you have like a stomach issue or some really strong diarrhea or something, usually, there have been people that say like, oh man, that went right through me. But it's kind of like we're talking, talking like a Taco Bell, or you eat some spicy Mexican or something, and you're a whitey like me or Bill, or even, even black per se, and you can't tolerate the spice, or you like it but your stomach doesn't, it's usually you wake up and then you're like, that Taco Bell or that Mexican restaurant, the Chinese food, caught up to me the next morning. So yeah, we're arguing that, but it's funny because so the whole point was she contradicts herself. So we're arguing this point for a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, and it gets to the point where she gets pissed off at everybody because nobody believes her, and she's one of those pick me, like gotta one up everybody, gotta be picked, if she's picked last for dodgeball, she's gonna be like, well, I'm athletic, I'm flexible, I'm a pretty girl, I'm a cool person, I'm a, I don't know, it's weird, man. It's fucking the dynamic at work with these couple characters that it's like we got a group that fits and blends well. You know, it's like you got your fucking, you know, the cheeses you put on a pizza, and then it's like you got your fucking, and then like these people are like fucking blue cheese or something that you just wouldn't even, well, no, I guess that's actually a dipping for a couple pizza places. I don't know how to explain it, but, because they're not like oddballs. I wouldn't say it's like, you know, they don't fit in, like, it's just they're eccentric compared to, like, you know, most of us are just kind of quiet. You know, yeah, we laugh, we're funny, we joke, you know, but we do our job, and for the most part, conversation is, you know, kept to a SFW, you know, safe for work. However, I don't know how to, other ways to explain that, but with these two, you know, it's talking to themselves out loud, and it's fucking, you know, God, I wish someone would just suck my fucking dick, or, you know, or if it's the woman, it's, man, nobody fucking here likes me, and I'm, you know, fucking sick of being treated like I'm stupid, and it's like, nobody said a word, no, you know, none of this, like, what are you guys talking about? Or the same thing, but in a conversation, so, you know, I'll be sitting there working, and it's just, hey, you know, how are you doing today? You know, and perfectly fine question, you know, I'm doing all right, you know, not feeling too bad or anything, you know, it's not too tired, whatever my answer is. How are you feeling today? Or, you know, what about you? Oh, well, I actually had to go to the flea market because one of the hair follicles in between my ass cheeks is ingrown, and I had to buy this cream that you stiff up your ass, and right there you're like, whoa, like, where did we go on this fucking super large NASCAR-sized left turn from how is your day to shoving, you know, medicated cream in your ass, or whatever the fuck, you know, story it is. I mean, what was it today? It wasn't the contradictory, but it's the same person that does that tells these fucking wild stories. Oh no. So yeah, on that note, she contradicts herself. She says, oh, after she gets mad, we all stop talking. It's like 20-30 minutes goes by, and she turns around and goes, oh, but I do know for sure that laying on whatever side, left or right, I forget what she said. I'm not even going to start the claim. But she goes, you know, I do know laying on this side helps with your digestion throughout the night. Now, mind you, this is the same fucking lady that just 5-10 minutes ago argued, like, angrily got into an argument about the fact that you do not digest at all when you're asleep. But laying on a certain side helps you digest better when you're sleeping. Well, which fucking one is it? I should be able to lay whichever, I should be able to fucking sleep on my head with my neck at a 90-degree angle, cutting off the blood, and, you know, go brain dead before I shit myself, like, or, you know, what are you talking, how can you not digest in your sleep, but laying on one side is better than the other side for digestion in your sleep? But when you mention that you just said these two things, it's no, I said this and I said this, or it's fucking crazy, man. I don't believe science is real. I think everything scientific is made in a lab. Again, like I said, just where do you know, it's like, oh, you know, the milk in the Cocoa Puffs doesn't turn chocolatey because the chocolate on the Cocoa Puffs. It's because they put a secret ingredient that turns the milk brown after 30 minutes of being soaked or being fucking, yeah, like, dude, it's fucking, most of us are at the point now where we're just like, we don't even know what, it's just like a, yep, okay, kind of deal, because nobody knows how to answer. Like, how do you answer politely and disagree with somebody when they don't take disagreement or constructive criticism or anything like that? Well, at least in this setting. I don't know about outside of work and, you know, and all that, but either way, so that was fucking, you know, weird as shit. But let's see, what else do I got? So yeah, I mentioned in work we got the overtime parts, and then they wanted everything halfway through in a different color. Best part about that is, like I said, I'm in the auto industry stuff, so the thing that we're changing, they want a different color, is something you don't see with your eye unless you take this. You have to take this part out of the motor, and then take this part apart to get to the piece that fucking they want a different color. So it's actually pretty fucking backwards and stupid, but it's funny. I mean, it just sucks for all of... I mean, we'll take the overtime. None of us are bitching about the overtime and the money we're gonna make and making. But it's like, dude, are you fucking shitting me? Like, you know how much work we just put into building this shit? And now you want us to change the color? That's like somebody saying, you know, I want my spark plugs to be pink. Like a girl, if she had, you know, like how girls, you know, some girls put the eyelashes and they get like real pink, you know, paint job and rims and stuff. Like, all right, oh, that's fine. You see it on the outside. Even the eyelashes, as dumb as some people might think it is, like, oh man, look, the car's winking when you turn the headlights off and shit. You know, yeah, you could think it's stupid, whatever, but at least you fucking see it. This, you got to take apart two different fucking things to get to the piece that is a different color. So it's... And then, on top of that, being around moving parts, fuel, you know, motor, etc., why would you want it? Why wouldn't you just want it the metallic, you know, silverish, you know, whatever metal it's made out of, fucking whatever color it comes in manufactured? Why do you want it painted now? You know, I mean, are we using non-flammable paint, or is this fucking paint gonna chip off and clog? You know, clog shit? I mean, do we even think about what we're doing, or are we just fucking doing it? And then, let's see, right, let's go on to Bill, you know? It's supposed to be about Bill. It's a fucking, you know, it's a spoof cast on Bill Burr and his shit. Fucking had his birthday, didn't talk about that. He didn't really, like I said, he had a couple of funny moments. Let's see, oh, look at that. I have a note from last Friday. I was looking at the wrong fucking pages. So, no, okay, so yeah, he's talking about being in New York, being bored, being lonely, and I can relate, not to the, well, yeah, I can relate to all of it, but the lonely, because, you know, I moved here to Michigan, and I don't really know anybody. I mean, I know who I live with, you know, and I know people at work now, but, no, I mean, as far as, you know, friends after work and going to do stuff, like, there's this little mini fair a town over, going on today and tomorrow, and I'm thinking it's raining today, so I'm really probably not going today, but it's open all day tomorrow, and they, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, I'd like a slice of fucking pizza, a funnel cake, you know, even if I'm by myself, fucking go, and you never, like I said, same thing with the famous people, same thing with, you know, doing a podcast to try and meet people, or fucking, you know, pretending your car's broke down in the middle of the road. You know, after a filming of something or whatever you got to do, you know, as long as it's peaceful, it's, you know, respectful, whatever. But you never know who you're going to meet, you know, so I might go out there and meet the woman that was meant for me. I might go out there and meet a couple cool dudes, you know, fucking slam some drinks and watch some sports, especially tomorrow, because we'll have Game 5. I know Bill mentioned he wanted Edmonton to tie it up, and they fucking did. I know going down 3-0, that's not what you want to do. That's definitely not the recipe to win this Stanley Cup. But they came back, and the hero, not McDavid, not the crybaby captain, but fucking Leon Draisaitl, the actual, probably, I'd say, the actual best player on that team, in my opinion, fucking scores the only other game-winning goal that Edmonton has, because they won the first game in overtime on Leon Draisaitl's goal. Yes, McDavid gave him a beautiful pass. Don't get me wrong. It was gorgeous. But you do also have to put it on Barkov on the Florida Panthers, because there was 2 Panthers and 2 Oilers, so, or at least 1 Panther. So, you know, in hockey, it's kind of an unwritten rule, if not a written rule. No, it's not written in the rule book, but, you know, it's one of those, like, you know, you learn as a kid, if it's you and the guy with the puck, or even as girl now, you know, because there's women's hockey, but either way, you against the person with the puck, your job is to take out any passing lane. So if it's 2-on-1, you know, it's 2 people against you, you you let the goalie handle the person with the puck, and you block the pass so they cannot pass it, and that's what fucks the goalie. And basically the Florida guy and it's funny, he won the best defensive forward of the year award and doesn't fucking block a pass. Which, like I said, it was a filthy pass anyway, but regardless, that was on him. So, it's both teams. Scoring on one is breaking down defense on the other, or a bad goalie, or however you want to, it's combination. They both got to the Cup final for a reason. But I'm with Bill. I want Edmonton to win, only because I want my Lightning to be the top Florida team, of course, but also because, Edmonton didn't have to fucking elbow like 7 guys in the face and take them out of the series every round to get to the Cup again, whereas Florida did. But no, Bill being lonely, I can relate to it, being here in Michigan. Sorry I went on that little sports tangent, but being here and being new, so I am going to try that fair thing. But on the lonely note, he said he was, that's when you get into doing shit too much, like too much drinking, smoking too many cigars, and he said he was smoking too much weed, and I thought, I never heard before that Bill ever smoked weed, like even as like a one-off, so I thought that was cool. And like I say, the podcast is all just to stir the pot, start some drama, get Bill's attention, maybe fucking one day sit down with the guy and, I said have a beer, but he said he doesn't drink, and he's like, even in his podcast yesterday, it was, this is a guy, one of his writers, he's like, this is a guy I'd sit and have a beer with if I still drank. But when he said he smoked, I'm thinking, oh shit, well, then that's what I'll do with him if I had the chances. I'll fucking sit down and we'll have a fucking, or have a joint. God damn, what am I, like fucking European? What am I, British? We'll have a joint, we will. Fucking, no, but I was thinking, that'd be cool. Especially because, like I mentioned with my humor, it's all in context and in conversation. But if you smoke with me and then we're sitting there talking, even about sports or whatever, oh, dude, man, give me a little buzz and fucking, start talking about whatever, and we're off to the fucking races. If there's comedy to be had, there's comedy to be had. And if it's there, it's going to be fucking exploited. Let's see. I actually have something on that note. What is it? Let me find it. Give me 1 second. Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, no. The guy was just, it was stupid. It was that part at work. Because, like I said, they wanted it in blue from the metallic, just metal, whatever, alloy or whatever metal it's made of. Instead of being that, they're like, can we get it painted blue? And it's just like I said, it's funny because it's almost as if, like, say you're getting a fucking kidney transplant. Yes, exactly. That's a good one, because it's your body, it's inside your body. You never see any of your organs, right? None of us are sitting here looking at our stomachs like, God damn, my liver needs fucking healing. I drank too much, or like, looking at your chest like, I could see right through my fucking belly button that I ate way too much fucking food. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's a perfect example. If you're going to the hospital for surgery and they're rolling you into the surgery room, you're about to get your IV, get knocked out. You're like, all right, we're going to do a kidney transplant. We're going to take this failing kidney. We're going to cut the motherfucker out. We're going to put in a healthy one. We're going to get you all fixed up, ready to go. You're going to wake up fucking brand new kidney. 50,000 mile warranty, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, you have the surgery and you wake up and the doctor comes in, how you feeling? You're like, I'm feeling great, but, I actually forgot to ask if you guys had any kidneys with a carbon filter and a third piston for the pump. Like, I mean, are you, what? What? I mean, you want a part that's not visible, even when what we're building is not visible. Like, even if you took that out, it's still not visible because it's a part inside of a part for a motor. And you want it painted a pretty color? Halfway through doing thousands of them? Like, oh, dude, I'll never fucking... like, mechanically speaking, I'll never get it. Like, to me, the company that is buying from us, like, the CEO has to be it's got to be a woman. Or, yeah, it's got to be, dude. She's got to be like, well, what if we made it pink? I mean, it's not pink, but, you know, for the fucking, because I said it's got to be a woman, I guess I got to fill in the fucking sexism, you know, I got to go the distance, you know? I got to own up to it now. So it's like, yeah, for the, you know, moral of the story, it's like, Lily, why not, let's make everything pink. And, no, that was, like I said, that to me was just fucking hilarious, because it's like, you know, changing the fucking, the color of the inside of your wheels on your vehicle, on your car, you know, like, when I get new tires, I know it says, Goodyear on the outside, and the writing is white, and the rest of the rubber's black, or maybe yellow and black. But do you think you could paint the inside of the rubber like an off teal, maybe a little more towards the greenish? Like, you're never gonna fucking see that. Why do you give a fuck if it's painted? I don't know. I did laugh, actually, though. So, yeah, it'd be cool to smoke with Bill. I'll smoke a fucking joint with you, man. We won't get you too high. You know, I won't fucking overdo it for you, or I won't push you. I'm not a pusher. You know? Fucking not one of those people. No, his fucking ads, his comedy, his podcast ads are getting funny. Like, at first it was, you know, ZipRecruiter and website domains and this and that. And now we're getting into fucking... One was like fruit.com, and then he starts fucking dying laughing, and he's like, I can't even fucking read this because it's fruit, you know, and your first thought, sadly, you know, you don't think about like, oh, it's about, you know, apples and oranges, and no, you think like, it's fucking, you know, especially think about the month we're in. It's fruit.com's month, you know, you go to fruit this month and put in special code, you know, big old Burr. Like he's packing down there. Put in code big old Burr and you get a giant fruit package stuffed in your mouth for free. So another story back to my life, because like I said, Bill, a lot of it's reading fucking people that write in, which I write in, he doesn't read, so fuck him in a friendly way. I had a coworker. This guy is fucking hilarious. Real funny, real cool dude. Newer at work, so you know, getting to know him and all. But you know, we're starting to get to the point where we can be funny and knowing everybody's limits and stuff. But we're talking about injuries at work, because you know some people are acting stupid and climbing on shit and you know using forklifts dumb or whatnot or whatever. So we're talking about injuries at work, and we were laughing about like silly injuries, and he was talking about he was at home. He's like, and he was using the can opener, opening green beans to cook dinner for his family. He's one of those guys, like he cooks for his family, like he doesn't make his wife cook every night. You know, he cooks, he works, he cleans, he drives, he drops them off, picks them up. You know, he's the real deal dad when it comes to that. You know, shout out to him. I wish I could throw his name out and, you know, where we work and all just to give him credit. But unfortunately, there's too many fucking crazy people. And, you know, like I said, I'm not rich like Bill, so I can't afford to be like, hey, you know, I threw your name on my podcast, so I'm going to have a little security if you're worried about, you know, some asshole, you know, thinking you're a piece of shit for my joke. But, no, so anyways, this guy, like I said, real stand-up dude, fucking awesome, you know, at least from what he talks, the way he talks. He's a real good dad, but he's telling a story. He's like, yeah, I had this can of green beans, and I used a can opener, you know, popped it open, whatever, bada bing. And he's like, I don't know why, but when I stuck my finger in, instead of pushing, you know, you push one side of the lid down or whatever, you know, you pop one up and you take the lid off, you pop it off, however, unless the can opener did it for you, in which case, you know, you just gotta tilt it, you know, and not cut yourself. He basically, long story short, is like, I went to get the lid off and slice his finger, you know, right out, like the tip of his finger right off, and I didn't look. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't looking at his hands after that to see if there was like a fucking nub missing. So I assumed he had it reattached, pretty quick. Because he's, like I said, he seems responsible, smart, logical, reasonable. But, no, he's telling the story and he's like, yeah, so he's like, I ended up cutting my fucking finger off. He's like, it fucking sucked. And we were like, holy shit, dude. And he's like, yeah, so he's like, I turn around and he's like, as I'm holding, we didn't say holding the piece, but he's like, right after it happened, he's like, I turn around and tell my family, he's like, well, guess we're not having green beans for dinner. And I started fucking crying. Because it's the fact of like, dude he didn't yell, he didn't cry, he didn't scream, not even like a man, like, fuck, it's fucking, god damn it, it's fucking hurt. No. He turns around calmly and says, well, we're not eating these green beans. There's a finger in it. Oh, man, with the calmness in which he said it, it was better than acting. It was like you had to, like, you couldn't have acted that. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't have acted it. Like, he actually did this. Because even he laughed about it and is like, man, it's like those people that, the dumb videos online, like you watch and you see somebody getting like a crazy car accident and then or not even, like a crazy car accident and the car flips over and as it's flipping, they like put their feet down on the ground through the windshield and then the car keeps flipping and then they're just like standing there. Like, it's like they flipped right out of the car perfectly. Or, like, as the car's tumbling sideways, they open the door and, like, step out as the car keeps fucking tumbling away from them. And they're just standing there, like, fucking... Like, they knew exactly when and how to get out of a tumbling car. That's pretty much, like, the way he was acting. Like, he was just like, yeah. So, no green beans tonight because I cut my finger off. So, the green beans, they're cross-contaminated with my blood and finger guts. So, anybody want corn? Like, fucking just keep going with the meal. Fuck it, We'll worry about this later. Anybody want a pig in a blanket? I got one. Oh, shit. And this is the dumb shit that fucking goes on daily throughout life. I'm sure you guys have all kinds of the same shit. But, this is shit I wish Bill would talk about, instead of the fucking billionaire shit. Which, on that note, I do agree a little bit. We'll get serious for 30 seconds. I'm counting 30's max. But, so yeah, 30 second seriousness. All seriousness. I've seen a couple things about, Civil War being not forced, but being nudged towards Civil War. And I have to say, I agree with Bill. We're the United States. I don't see colors, not black or white, not red or blue. Obviously you see black and white, like, you can't avoid that. That's, but what I mean is, I don't see it as, to me, we're all human. We're all in the United States. We're all in this shithole together. We're all in this shit show together. I struggle like you struggle. We all fucking, it's damn near same. So I agree. Let's not go to Civil War. I'm not fighting anybody for no dumb shit. We got more important shit to worry about than fucking arguing with each other over some asshole rich people and what they're making us think. You're you, I'm me, you're amazing, and that's all I gotta say. Now, away from that serious 30 seconds, I think I went a minute. Whoop-de-doo. Ruined it for you. But no, so yeah, and then Bill had to edit his fucking Thursday podcast because he had a show to do, which, what kind of irresponsible fucking worker. First of all, you call off on fucking Monday, not Monday. Was it Monday? Or was it last week? You call off work. It was last week because his family was in town. Yeah, you call off work and I gave you a pass for fucking doing a Tuesday podcast. And now you want to fucking not make up your hours? Oh, dude, you work for me, man. You're coming into HR. We're coming into HR and we're going to have a sit down. As they say, we're gonna have a sit down. We're gonna have a meeting. We're gonna do our quarterly review. And even though you work great, even though your comedy's been hilarious for years, and even though you busted your ass for years to make your life, this quarterly review, we don't like it, so you're fired. Like you say, how the billionaires don't pay people enough, and so it's immigrants' fault. Well, that's what they make it seem like. I'm making it where because your family was in town and your birthday, and because you got the money to fucking not make a podcast when you want. Well, I mean, I could not make it either, I guess. It doesn't take money. Doesn't take shit but sitting in the fucking car and talking about dumb shit. Like Bill! Oh, man. Yeah, so, let's go on to fucking some sports, because I forgot where I was going with that dumb shit anyways. You know, it's all just rambling. Fucking seeing how the week was, you know. Thankfully, the week's over. We're at fucking 5:30, sitting at home in the parking lot. It's raining, so I'm not even in a rush to get out of the car. It's more just when I run out of shit to talk about. But, no, so going to sports, like I said, the fucking Oilers tied it up, which I'm happy about. Gives them home ice again, because 2 of the last 3 games, should it go all the way, will be in Edmonton, which, you know, that gives them the line matchups they want. Doesn't mean they're going to win. You know, home advantage has gotten worse and worse, I feel, for sports. Besides Colorado, where fucking you're a mile in the air, so you got no air to breathe. Which, you know, that's a whole different fucking story. But then the NBA, you know, like Bill said, it's supposed to be a quick, boring series, but the Indiana Pacers are fucking surprising. And they're up 2-1, which, you know, it's not a guarantee or anything, but they definitely didn't get swept, and it's not a short series. You know, they definitely made it interesting. Even if they go, you know, even if they lose 4-2, you know, they lose 3 straight, it's still, they made it interesting enough to, you know, go. I mean, regardless, it's going to go 5 games for Indiana and 6 for Oklahoma to win, you know, minimum. So it's a series, you know, unless Indiana wins in 5. And in that case, it's pretty much what everybody expected, but the other way around. As far as, you know, I'm not a big basketball guy, but as far as what I know and what I've been told. All right, we got that. We got Civil War we don't want to start. We got 4,000 parts that need to be painted pretty. Friday the 13th, like I said. When the moon's out for you, don't go looking at it unless you want hairy nipples. Because it's not a full moon, so you're not going full werewolf or, you know, crazy. But you might get a little weird and get some hair on your nipples, like I said. Or maybe even an ingrown hair in your ass cheek. You never know where it'll come from. But, let's see. Lastly, I guess it's something worth mentioning. I started an anime. I got a friend. I've had friends over life that watch anime, and all it is it's Japanese animation. It's, you know, people say it's not a cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's more geared towards adults usually, and that's why people don't like the word cartoon. But it's animation for the sake of real human computer graphic, or, you know, drawing computer graphic style. It's drawing, you know, it would have been drawn back in the day. It was drawn, so, you know, I don't know what the whole fucking, why people that watch anime get so angry about people that call it cartoons, you know, because I can say it's a cartoon, and I could still say, you know, well, I like this anime or that anime, you know, but I don't like this one or I don't like that one. You know, just because I said they're cartoons doesn't mean, like I said, doesn't mean I didn't like something. But no, so I'm not, you know, I'm not one of those. I'm not really big like most people that I've ever known or hung out with. You know, hate to say this because it's a dick thing to say, but you know, it was like, oh, the people that watch anime and play video games and play like Magic and card games and play like Dungeons and Dragons and shit like that. It was like, you know, they're not like Bill always said, like, they're the fucking nerds, man. They're not going to get laid, or they're not, you know, this and that, yada, yada. And I've had enough friends watch anime that, you know, I got one friend, and, you know, as a kid, I watched Dragon Ball Z. It was popular, and I didn't know what anime was, or Japanese versus fucking English, you know, or whatever, like, cartoon-wise. So, and it was all fighting and powering up, you know, and what little boys love shit like that, you know. Superhero, super fighters, you know, I mean, that's like a little boy's fucking dream show, you know, like, I was always powering up, probably give myself a fucking aneurysm, you know, or something, I don't know, but, no, so, you know, so I was like, alright, fuck it, what they did with Dragon Ball Z, you know, if you don't know, because, like I said, a lot of people are anti-anime or anti-open-minded, you know. But what they did with that is they did something that what they call abridged. And that's where they put like it's English, but it's funny words. Well, English for us, but it's funnier words. So instead of saying what they said, like they'll put some funny shit in there. Like, so say there's a scene with a family and the mom's like, honey, you better sit down and eat your dinner before your dad gets mad. And then the dad's like, yeah, you better listen to your mom. They'll do the abridged, and then that same scene, the mom will be like, you better sit your little fat ass down and finish your meal. And then the dad will be like, yeah, that fucking whore told you. They still fit it to the mouth movements, but it's fucking, so it's completely just like random, or it's humorous, very funny. So he's like, if you're into humor, and comedy, stand-up comedy, like most TV I watch, most scrolling I do online, I'm looking for funny. I want to laugh. I want to fucking laugh. I want to I want to make people laugh. I want to laugh. I want to see stuff that's funny. I want to be funny. Like, to me, laughter is the best medicine, etc. Yada yada. If people say, what's your favorite feeling, or where do you want to go? Where's your happy place? It's laughter. So so my anime friend here in Michigan's like, well, I know you're not into anime much or whatever, but there's one that was made originally totally abridged. So they never did a serious version. It was just the funny version from the start. He's like, so give it a try. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. And sure enough, dude, it's funny as fuck. It's like first episode, this family, they move into this new house, and the sisters, they're little girls or whatever, not little, teenagers, whatever. But, they run upstairs to the bedroom, and like I said, the show's for adults, so the comedy is for adults. So, but it's also, it can be controversial, and, obviously Asian culture, things are different. So don't go fucking, hiking up your pants and running down to the courthouse when I fucking say this scene. But because, like I said, because the fucking cartoon girls are fucking young. But they run upstairs and they lay down on the floor, like plop down. And it shows them laying there, and they're, they got their little fucking, I don't know, I wouldn't say schoolgirl dresses, but, the dresses on or whatever, and they're laying there. And, first thing you think of as a woman in a dress, or a lady, a girl in a dress, is make sure you're, decent, if you're sitting, or if you're, any kind of, not vertical, or unless you're really fucking tall, but, no, so yeah, they like plop down on the floor, and then they're sitting there, and the little sister's like, this is a cool bedroom, and the older sister's like, yeah, this is gonna be an awesome room. And then you just hear out of the corner, the far away, you just hear, ooh, look, panties. And then you're like, what? Ooh, look, panties. Like, ooh, what the fuck? Like, we just went from these two little girls laying on the floor in an empty house, and then you hear that, and then it goes to the next scene, and it's the neighbor kid, he's looking out his window, and like I said, since they're laying down, they didn't think to fucking cross their legs or nothing. So, little boy says that. But the point of the show is, like, I don't know what the actual words in the Japanese, like the seriousness of it, because it does have some serious tones. But like, there's one episode, and it's about a kid who likes running track, but there's a ghost at the track that doesn't like he died running track or something. So he haunts people and kills them. And as the boys are running, and there's the girls watching, and they're trying to help, like, with spells or whatever it is to help, stop the demon from killing the kid, because it's their friend, family, etc. And the girls are all, freaking out, and oh my God, here it comes. Like, we gotta hurry. We gotta save him. Ooh, nice ass. Like, it's just one of the girls randomly just talking about one of the boys running. Ooh, nice ass. And then that boy disappears and fucking floats off. He was an angel protecting the kid from the demon. So that boy floats off, and they're like, oh, thank God we saved him. And he's like, oh my God, little brother, whatever his name, he's safe, yes. And then same thing you hear in the background, where'd the nice ass go? And it's just fucking hilarious, because the whole show, every episode, they just, you got your serious story, and then your random fucking commentary that has nothing to do with it. Like fucking, starting with that demon before the race, they're talking about the demon, and like, oh, this person died on this track, and they say that person haunts the track, and then one of the kids goes, you probably just heard that shit on Fox News. And it's hilarious because it's fucking, like I said, it's anime, so it's in Japan, so it's not even like, like they give a shit about Fox News or political shit. It's fucking hilarious. But, yeah, so that's been my week. Like I said, we went from massive overtime and busting our ass to Flintstone breaks, both feet on the ground, grinding halt, don't make another fucking part. Take everything back apart and paint it and then put it all back together. And then once you're done, then continue on with the painted parts. Other than that, Bill was his usual boring old Billy self. Not boring, but I gotta talk shit. Have a good weekend, everybody. Safe, happy, healthy, all the shit I say. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which means hopefully you survive. That's about the basics. We'll see if Bill actually does a full hour on Monday, and I'll keep annoying the shit out of him in the email until he reads one of them, and then I can be like, oh my God, he read my email yesterday. Did you hear it? And then we'll fucking talk about that. And then by then, when one of the emails is read, then maybe he'll notice some other shit, and then I'll say, oh my God, I'm getting sued by Bill, or whatever fucking happens, But, no, either way, yeah, you guys fucking enjoy it. Since we won't be back till Tuesday, hopefully, Edmonton wins tomorrow night, I believe it is. And then that's Saturday, so Sunday, Monday. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday, so it might be game 6 might be, the night that I'm talking to you, or I might be able to comment on it. But either way, I'll be able to comment on the next game and the next basketball game, as well as what Bill's got to say about them. Other than that, I've got nothing else. I'm going to run through this rain while it's sprinkling and not raining harder. Get my ass inside, enjoy my weekend, pour myself a drink, fire up a smoke. Fucking, I'm single. I'm fucking working a good job, single, got no responsibilities besides my own bills, which, so if I fuck up, that's my own fault. No kids, yet. Like, I'm getting the bill situation. I'm getting into that fucking, I'm not there yet because he was in his 40s, but I'm climbing towards the, when the fuck's this gonna happen? But like I said, you never know. I might head to that fair tomorrow and meet the woman of my dreams, or I might get slapped by a man for saying he has man titties, or I might not even go if it rains, because who the fuck's gonna stand out and eat a funnel cake in the rain on a fucking, or ride a fucking Ferris wheel, or, all that, it's, you know what I mean. It's not gonna fucking happen. So, on that note, go fuck yourselves, Bill, go fuck yourself, fucking, you Heinz 57, ketchup red, old motherfucker. I don't know what else to fucking talk shit about to you. We'll catch back in on Tuesday. Wow, I went 48 minutes? Jesus Christ. No wonder it's been so fucking boring. Alright, I'm out.